respect at all. No respect whatsoever. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked.
I think I mean, credit to Man City, they had a higher possession of the ball. Doku did get around Trent a couple of times and all of those things. But all of those things don't count when you don't make the
See,
when you
at no point did I feel like like Liverpool were in trouble. With
mm,
all the possession that Man City, at no
Man City
point
had.
did I feel that. And every time, was it called, and Liverpool had the ball, man, Musala, that boy. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't. I was trying to think about it. If this is the best season, or this is the most impressive a player has been in a season, but I can't. For me, it's this Suarez. But what's it called?
Mm,
But this is unlike anything we have seen in a very very long time. This is Ballon d'Or. Is not.
yeah.
There's no way
I'm
to
not
talk about it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't discredit that for sure. I think what we are seeing is one of the things that make this significant is he's had down moments
Mm.
and now he's back and it feels like, oh my God, this is like a new 24-year-old guy. So there's so much to be said about him.
Mm.
The media is saying, "Oh no, because he's an African, he can't get Ballon d'Or because of even if he
Oh
wins
yeah.
African Cup of Nations and all of that."
Yeah. In a year where there is that, I can see how to play against him, but there's none this year, right?
Yeah, there
There's
was
none.
African last year. Yeah,
Yeah.
African Cup
So like,
last year.
cause I would say, because even with the African Cup, Egypt doesn't do that well
Yeah,
in
I mean
general.
they've been to the two finals lately.
Yeah,
Uh,
but they haven't won it now. I don't think they've won it in a while.
they won one against was it against Mani and Mani won again. I might
They haven't
that's
won
when I
it
thought they
because
won
like
two.
in my memory, I don't think they were second in 2021 and they were second in 2017. Runners up. Actually, the last one was also to be runners up. I was even following it like that.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah, they yeah. I mean, I can see that being a
Yeah,
factor, but regardless,
because if he lit up the, what's it called? Now, I know they said they don't rate it as the same, but I think if he lit up the, what's it called, the Afcon, I don't. I'm pretty sure to play in his favor.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, because I was like, initially I was thinking about it, but I was like I don't remember Egypt really doing well. What's it called, like that? Because you have to clinch it. If you're a runners up, it doesn't hit the same.
Mhm.
Like, what's it called? And I'm not even sure he was a key player for these World Cups. When I watch the highlights every now and then, but I can go and watch
Yeah.
and see. Sorry.
I mean, it's just no. I don't. I didn't. I can't remember him being a key player in winning the
That's it.
World Cup.
Yeah, because I know I didn't follow it closely, but I did not follow it. I was like, I don't think he's shown like
Mm.
that in the Afcon. So I was like, I can see how, like, Mane's name. You see, like, the first thing that came to your mind was Mane because he leads that tournament on up. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't think Salah did. So I can see how, like even though, like, and yes, they don't rate it as much as
Other
European
Europeans, or
competition or the World Cup.
yeah,
And with the World Cup, I think that's just the World Cup. Nothing's rated as much as the World Cup. But I was like, if it's just a year with European Cup, I was like, if he does well, I think he can get it. I think I
yeah,
get it. But this year, Sha, there's nothing like that. I don't think anybody is even remotely close to it because it's not just his goals, it's his production, his like
yeah.
his take on whenever he stands a defender up, 9 out of 10 times he's going to beat you. I've not seen that kind of success rate since what's that German boy? Oh, that boy in Bayern, Robben.
Robin, okay.
I've not seen that kind of success rate since him. Where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, like yeah, I'll beat you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well informed player. But let's go back to the game. Let's go back to the game. Do you think Haaland would have actually? You
Someone
mentioned
said
that.
recording.
Yeah, I started recording.
Oh, we didn't do
Did
our
you?
intro.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and do the intro. Let me
Dana
play it
Dana.
now.
Dana Dana. I don't need your help, Sam. I have it all memorized. Dun, 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 dun. And this is where Mide will come in. Hi, amigos. It's your boy Mide. Unfortunately, he can't join us, but it's your boy Ayo and Sam here to react to what has been a crazy and exciting week of soccer in the Premier League. We're coming here to
Sure.
react to the Man City versus Liverpool game, which obviously our boy Sam, a proud supporter, has so much to say. And then we're going to talk about Arsenal and their shocking game against West Ham. I'm not going to say too much till we get into it, but they had a game. Another game was played. And we're going to talk about Man United's game without Mide, but we're going to talk about how well they did to come back from 2-0 down against a resurgent Everton. But first of all, Sam, we already got into this before we started recording because we're just so excited to talk about
Yeah.
the Arsenal game. Man, like, how you feel? Are you excited? Are you like so pumped? You like, is this it? No one can deny your ascendancy. Did you start
Hey,
writing your name on the cup? You know,
start cabinet on cabinet.
that guy with his small glasses just like etching.
Yeah,
It's probably already started, saving him time.
yeah.
Man, what a
Honestly,
game!
it was good seeing. I didn't see the full game. I saw the highlights. I'm like, hmm. But I have to say, credit to you for rejoicing with us despite the results that you guys had. So
Oh
amigos
man,
are getting the best of you for sure. You know,
Sam, if I
yeah,
can enjoy my own side, I gotta enjoy through my brothers. And my brother's success is also my success.
I appreciate it. Which is a contrary to what I said in our last segment that you and I did together. And I said, you know what, I'm not happy that my friend Ayo is winning and I did not win. But you are a better man than me for sure. But all that aside, man, very, very exciting to see the scoreline. Of course, excited to see the scorer and the assist from probably two of our most informed players right now, Salah and Sabuslai. I think a lot. The first goal definitely it's straight out of the training pitch, man. It's straight out of a bunch of practices. How they were able to get that across the line was impressive, and it did change the game for us. I look at things and I realized that okay, Liverpool was much calmer to from that moment, and of course, Man City had more possession, but possession uh, without a win or a goal is a useless statistics to have. Uh, but just overall, I like that we went down there. I was thinking it's gonna be a draw, especially coming off of Aston Villa. So I was like, at the minimum, just get me a draw. But getting a win makes you feel on top of the world. And to be honest, the other thing that makes me feel on top of the world is seeing Cody Gakpo back. It gave us a little bit of strength, confidence as we go into the Champions League, as we go into. We have about 11 more games to play, and I just need about 5 more wins, 6 more wins, and I'm good. Uh, but we don't call it a title until we get it.
Sam, Arsenal play Liverpool. I think that is their third to last, second to last. No, yeah, third to last game of the season. And all I'm just praying for is that they keep it to the point where they don't have to do a guard of honor. You know, if when we play, if Arsenal players are just there clapping, I might die. You just see Saka. He got his fitness just to come out and clap.
Hey, I definitely wish I also had the best. Honestly, I I,
As
I
long as that
like
doesn't
soccer.
happen, I'm fine.
Yeah, but
Well, congrats, Sam.
man,
Congrats, Sam.
well,
I watched the game
tell
and
us about your thoughts, man.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Man City, I believed it was going to be a draw as well. And my reasoning was a lot of their issues were in the midfield. They just bought this player, Nico Gonzalez. They just spent almost 220 million. At least we get some kind of structure and stability. And the way Liverpool played and the way that game panned out, they should just not have opened their checkbook. There was no point spending $250 million because it changed absolutely nothing at all.
You think it changed because they've not had time to gel together one, or it's because they play Liverpool?
It's a combination of both. When I watched a lot of Man City's progression, I could see that they did not understand each other's wavelengths.
Mm.
So, in fact, halfway, like a third through the way of the game, you could see Pep getting very frustrated with Marmoush because Marmoush wasn't making the right runs. And for someone who's not been in the system, just being able was like, I can understand if he doesn't understand where to be. But other than that, I just think Liverpool are just superior. They're tactical nous, and they just have killers and just consummate professionals. The way Van Dijk marshaled the defense, the way he shepherded the ball and players out of danger zones and just had a commanding presence that Man City had no answer for. The way Salah was just imperious. Oh my God, Sam, give him his Ballon d'Or today. The confidence, the swagger. Vadio was his son. The entire game, he just cradled him the entire time, turned him inside, out, changed him over, sent him to bed. The first goal, immaculate. The run to make the assist to Soboslai, exquisite. This is a team that is in a league of their own. In the 2024-25 season, there is nobody that even remotely shows that they can keep up with their pace. And there is no star, no attribute, no player that is as inevitable as Mohamed Salah. You have those two combining a serious team, serious coach, serious mindset, then they know how to win. You have players in tremendous, probably, I don't know, the peak of their careers in Mo Salah. I'm sorry. There's just nothing that can be said. This is their title to lose. I don't know if they're going to win, but it would have to be something crazy to happen. Like something that I can't even explain. You couldn't write this in a, what's it called, in a play that would make it believable. They're going to win it because their closest challenger is Arsenal. And the game we're going to go into to talk about, we can't even muster a challenge. If Liverpool drops points, best be assured that Arsenal will drop points too. Liverpool has drawn almost 3 to 4 games in this Christmas period. We have drawn all those games and then lost on top of that. So it's crazy, but I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed, and I'm happy for Mo personally because I think he has done very well, but I don't think he has received his flowers. Even within Liverpool, I think they've talked about him, but not in the GOAT status that he needs to. This is a player that his contributions to the club require a statue. And the way he's playing it, and I don't know if this is a final season. We don't know yet if he's going to get an extension. But this is the season that he shows that, no, I am a great. And whenever you say the big names, Robbie Fowler, whoever it is, you better mention my name at the top of that list. And that is an impressive thing to do. So, yeah, Sam, congratulations. I don't know if you want to add anything more about the game. Is there anything you
No,
think
I
that
think
you are worried about, maybe? Or are you just going to take this
yeah,
easy and see? Yeah.
it's an exciting time for sure. But I try to be realistic. I know Liverpool so well, just like your team so well. Like they are more likely to lose or draw, a couple of points. Um, we won Man City. We defeated Man City, but the battle is not over. I'm not comfortable with us not scoring a lot of goals. I mean,
Hmm.
of course, the Man City game, I don't expect a lot of goals from us. But small teams trying to feel like they can beat us, we beating them by 1-0 to 1. I don't like that. I want to see more consistency from all players. And I know some people might think I'm a negative none or something now. But we got to keep going. We have to keep the legs rotating, and I want to see us win both the Champions League and the Premier League. But we need to keep the rotation going. So I'm glad Cody Gakpo is back, and I really think Mo Salah should be probably the first African with a statue in the Premier League team
Yes,
at the
I was like,
minimum.
is that the Tim Way or something? Is not the first
George Weah, the
George
George
Weah?
Weah,
Sorry, I think he
did
was
he
the first
play
to
in
win it.
Premier League?
That's what I was trying. I don't think he did.
I think it was in
League,
Italian
yeah,
league
but
more.
he might have been the first African. I don't think an
Oh,
African has done it since. Like, did Eto do it?
Eto didn't play in Premier League. He played in Chelsea. Was he?
Yeah,
Did he
yeah.
play? But it wasn't a
So
good. It was
we're
towards the
focusing
end of.
African player from the Premier
Yeah,
League. Is that what? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
hmm
definitely, probably, definitely
yeah,
not. But not that many players from the Premier League do it.
yeah. Not
And
that
if
many.
but if someone's gonna do it, like I really don't see anybody anywhere else in the world that even comes close to what he's doing. So, good on you. Like you probably have to wrap him in cotton wool. And I think the way he's playing now and the way everything goes through him is Liverpool has a like it's kind of funny. I never thought they were dependent on one player, but it's the first season I thought maybe they are. And so what that means for this season is that they got to manage his minutes for this season, and then for next season, I don't think they can afford for him to go anymore.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
they need at
I
least a
think
season from him. Yeah, an extra
I don't
season. Yeah.
disagree, but I also think if players want to leave, probably based on salary or whatnot, you should always let them leave because especially if they've done so much for the club.
Mhm.
So, but at least
Yeah.
you should finish this season for us.
Season, I
And
say.
yeah,
Yeah, because like I'm worried about a drop off if he goes. Because like who's going to step up into his shoes? Like I mean, a collective still makes sense,
hmm,
but for me, Mo Salah this season, Mo Salah is been a player this season for Liverpool where if there's a game they ought to lose, they somehow draw because he's on the pitch. If there's a game
yeah,
that they're supposed to draw, they somehow win. He is the difference maker. He is the elevator of that team, and to
hmm,
find that player, those players they are difficult to find. You can't even buy them.
yeah,
Because you could go and spend 200 million on a player now. He doesn't even give you half of what Mo Salah is. So like I was thinking about it, I was like, I think they need to pay him what he needs. Like not for like a 2 year contract or like a 3 year contract. Obviously he's 32, but like I think they need him for one more year. Like what do you
yeah.
think, Sam?
No, I don't disagree. I think we need him as long as he gets to the point that he could only play 20 minutes.
Mm.
Um, I
Oh
don't
wow.
mind keeping him on the
Yeah.
roster for 3 more years, even though he's not getting 50 minutes of a game.
Yeah.
Um, but I still think if a player wants to leave, definitely let them go. He helps them. He also
Mm-hmm.
helps the team. He helps them in the sense that they can go explore another adventure. It
Mm-hmm.
helps the team because it gives you the opportunity to find another creative person and see a different playmaker. So it's not about nobody. There was a time that we thought, okay, the best of the best were players like Okocha,
Mm.
depending on what you like about football. There was a time that we thought the best of the best was Van Persie, Van Persie, Van Nistelrooy, and I haven't started talking about Morrison guys. There was a time we thought Rooney was like the OG, and there was a time we thought Ronaldo was the OG. Of course,
Of course.
Messi is
Yeah.
still doing his own thing, but now we're seeing different guys. So
Yeah, and I was thinking about it as well as you were just saying all these names. It's like Man United, Man City is a test case or a case study on when to let go.
yes, sir. Yeah,
You
100%.
a big reason they're struggling this season is they couldn't let go because everyone was doing so well. So like, how do you sell De Bruyne at the peak of his powers? How do you sell these players? Like most of the team are like in their 30s. At least the key players are in your
Hmm.
30s, and you keep them one season too long, and you get to this place. And so it might be the smart thing to do, However, it's
It
I'm
can
gonna
be
see.
difficult.
Yeah, yeah,
It
I'm gonna
can
see.
be.
But
It
let's
can be.
not
But
talk too
yeah.
long. Let's move on. There are other games this match week. I've been delaying, but we gotta talk about the elephant in the
We
room.
have to. We have to,
Yeah,
man.
Arsenal at home to West Ham. We are potentially only 5 points away from Liverpool, putting pressure on them in the Man City game and hoping to make this a two-horse race to the end of the season. And then they come in and good old West Ham, they make it a boring game. We have no answers. They score a fabulous, fabulous counter-attacking goal. We can't respond. We get a red card, and I just have to sit there and watch. Uh, Sam, I can't even talk about this, man. I turned off my TV.
Did you? I
Yeah,
saw the
yeah.
game.
When the red card happened, I turned off my TV. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna watch it. And my wife was like, "You're lying." And so I went to go turn it back on. And so I'm watching them just run around with no
Mhm.
cutting edge and no confidence, no belief. There was no, there was no root. West
What do
Ham
you
played
think
a very
went wrong
compact.
though?
There's a multitude of issues that
Things.
went wrong. I think psychologically, after not adding a lot of players, any players in the window, and key players getting injured, I kind of feel like some heads have dropped now. I kind of think like we had to pull off Declan Rice at like 55 minutes. That never happens. That never happens. And you can't say like, oh, he's tired. We didn't play a midweek game, so like he can't be tired enough that you hoof him at 50. What's it called, at 55 minutes? And I know he has history with West Ham. Maybe that got to him on a day, but we're playing at the Emirates, so that should not.
I think it was doing okay for. I mean, not
he
the
he was
greatest
he was
play.
he was sloppy. He was very sloppy.
Yeah.
But his weakness is playing in tight spaces. So his close
Mm.
control is very poor. What he has is his ball carrying ability and his long distribution. Those are very very good. And every now and then he has a mean long shot in him. But he had a terrible game. But so did a lot of our players, and you could tell that West Ham, they figured out how to hurt us. They had how to frustrate them. Them and Everton are two teams that really know how to frustrate Arsenal. But we found a solution to this anyway. We beat them like 6-0 and then 5-1 afterwards. Like we understood how to play them. And so what I think is that we're just missing the key players. Wan-Bissaka caused us a lot of problems because there was no player to keep up with him. That is
Yeah.
Martinelli's job. You put Martinelli in that position, and Wan-Bissaka can't do what he was doing. Not only is someone going to track him, but he cannot
Hmm.
take the
So you
risk.
think?
It was a terrible matchup with Trossard. It was not the right
Mhm.
person to play on that. But who else? Who'd you play? And that's where we've got with Arsenal, where it's like, who do you play? If your plan A doesn't work, there is no plan B. You just don't have the
Yeah.
personnel for plan
Yeah.
B. It's either that or we bring on Sterling. You know how that is, and we bring up this under 21 player Oyedeji, who is 22 playing for the under 21s. That lets you know his ceiling as a player. So we've reached that point where we just have to go and see, because if a team comes at us, we can play that game. If a team's gonna sit back and just wait us out, we're gonna have a very, very difficult time because all our dynamic players are gone.
Mm.
Like, imagine playing without, like, not playing without Saka, not playing without Gabriel, not playing without Havertz, not playing without Martinelli. That's like saying Liverpool don't have Mo Salah, Liverpool don't have Cody Gakpo, Liverpool don't have Jota, and Liverpool don't have Diaz. That's the pecking order,
Mm.
right? And so you start saying, "Oh, I'm going to have Nunes start skying shots," and no offense to Nunes, but everything now becomes very tricky. Everything becomes very clunky, and if it doesn't work that first time, there's nobody you're bringing on I think we brought in Zichenko to
Mm.
replace Declan Rice in the midfield. And
Yeah.
that's because Berino, who is Declan Rice's natural replacement, is trying to figure out if he can play a striker. And so, like, you see all this, and don't get me wrong, like, we didn't play well, and so there is that. But like, I just reached a place where I'm afraid
Mm.
that this was a season where it could happen. Man United are not, City are not strong. Liverpool are great, but like, we've had enough games that we could be in touching distance still. So I'm not too like horrible. Like to win a season where Liverpool is playing like this is difficult, but I think we could still be there or thereabouts. Like, and anything could happen in the last 11 games. But like, next season, Chelsea are going to be better. Next season, Newcastle are going to be better. Next season, like, all these teams are going to be better and more competitive. And there is no guarantee that whoever we bring in the summer, regardless of who, even if we no, we might not even buy anybody, Sam, but that might not be the difference maker. Who's to say that the three players you bring in the summer are going to help you win a Premier League? No one can say that. Like, and then, okay, a resurgent Man City, a resurgent Liverpool, Liverpool in confidence. We get probably go out into the market and get another player, another two players, like round out their like very impressive game. Newcastle figure it out. All these teams figure it out. Like, and oh, we're gonna win then. Like, the field is wide open this season,
Yeah.
and we have not capitalized. So I'm watching this happen, and I'm afraid that, is this our opportunity gone? Is it gone? You don't
Yeah.
get many seasons that Man City are this off the boil, right? Liverpool have capitalized every time,
Yeah.
and so there's that. So I watched that game. I was sad, but what can I say? I will say though, Ben White is fit.
Yeah. It was good seeing him back on the pitch
Yeah,
yesterday.
and his movement. So a lot of the dysfunction that we have on the right hand side is because of Timber, not because he's a bad player, but he doesn't make the kind of runs that White does that opens up space for other players.
Yeah.
When it's just Timber, Nwaneri, and Odegaard, is a much more static right hand side, and him
Mm.
getting to fitness and coming back, it means we can try some different configurations in our build
Mm.
up. And so I'm hoping maybe we get more results, but I don't know, man. Like, it's difficult to say. I'm not angry at the manager. I'm not so much angry at the team because they're
Mm.
doing what they're doing, losing their cutting edge. Like, we saw how injuries affected Tottenham. We saw how injuries affected Man City. We saw how injuries affect, what's it called? Man United even. And so we're still the closest. We're still heads and shoulders. We got like 6 points from us is
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest, and then everybody else is not even in contention. So for us to still keep delivering at that level is admirable. But I just feel like if they just done something in the summer or in January, maybe, just maybe. But then again, Man City spent 250 million and nothing.
Yeah.
So the idea that they're like is like, really, who can we bring in right now that will actually transform? There's not that many players, and so it's a gamble. Only the future would tell. But this was when I knew that, okay, yeah, this is we're not in contention. We're best of the rest,
Yeah.
but we're definitely not fighting for the title. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely
Well,
wish you guys all the best.
hey. So yeah, Sam sending us a get well soon card.
Yeah.
My deepest condolences.
I think there's so many positive from the game. However, positive can be in terms of and light bulb moments. Excuse me. I think a lot of things can be picked from that game. Um, of course, player making sure your players are fit, making sure your players that you're selecting are of the top notch quality for that position. Uh, Ben White being back is a big addition.
Mhm.
The injury is killing you guys for sure. But start
But it,
building
it, it,
more.
it it has to happen at some point. Everybody has to go through this. I think it's just you understanding that. And for me, it's one of those things where it's like I didn't know they have a plan
Mm,
because we needed to make space to
mm,
bring in new players, and it's just the timing of it all. When it's happening, it's just like this just feels like the worst time to be
yeah.
doing this. Like it's like, oh my god, couldn't you delay for one more season? But we made a loss last year. Even the year that we did, sorry, 2 years ago, even the year last year that we did a little bit better, we still made a loss. So I can understand the financial aspect and understand that they need to be prudent, weighs heavily on them. And so I can see why they might have delayed one cycle.
Yeah.
But who's to tell that, take the risk maybe and see. But we'll see. But before we go, we got to talk about Miday's team. He wasn't here to talk about his Man United today, but I thought we were going to be able to laugh at him because they went 2-0 down to Everton, and I was
Yeah.
preparing all my sass. You see Miday's face every time we start talking about Man United. He just gets quiet. Okay. But they show character.
Yeah.
They showed character. I don't know what he said to them, but they came back. And towards the end, if there's any team that was looking like going away with the points, it was Man United.
Man
So you
United.
go from a game where you're not doing anything, no shots on target, and then bam, there's life. And I was impressed with their character. I don't know if it's going to be enough
Mm,
to change things, but you can tell that the players still care and the players are still willing to fight for him. And as a
mm,
manager, that's all you can ask for them. Is when you lose that,
yeah.
that's when you know you're in trouble. But like it looks like he still has the backing of the team, most importantly, and
Hmm.
I just hope they have easier maybe games coming up, and so maybe they can get a string of results together. But that second half was very very impressive. First half not so much. Second half very much so. Like Sam, how do you feel about Man United? Do you think Amorim is gonna survive this season?
He's gonna survive it, but maybe a couple of points from away from relegation. I still think they have personnel issue.
Hmm. I think Sam, your
But
signal's gone for a second. Oh, there you go.
okay,
You mind giving your point again? Hmm.
yeah, I still think they have personnel issues. We've talked about this in our previous shows, but I also think they are just. It seems like there's no plan. Um, the players, I get it, could be better, but there's just no plan. The game with Everton, I was like, okay, we know that everything is coming back to life.
Hmm.
We know what's the is that Abdullah Decore? We know that he's got long legs. He can drive you, but it seems like he was playing. He had free will to do whatever he wanted to do in that game. Um, I saw the full game and I was just upset. Like, why does everything have so much energy?
Mm.
Like, just like the game with Arsenal, West Ham too. West Ham was they were running around like crazy, and that's because Arsenal took their foot off the gas for a while. But when the goal came in, Arsenal started running around. They were started to take charge. But at this point, it was just okay. Let's rush and get back in this game. But it was too late. Going back to Man United, it was from the very first minute that everything is just like took charge. I'm happy they got to 2 goals back. However, you cannot keep playing like that. You
Yeah.
it can only last you for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think
They look
about
like
it.
they're on the knife's edge. But
Uh,
I mean, I think the Premier League has become something else, though. Because you mentioned earlier where it's like you don't feel too happy about Liverpool not scoring so many goals against some of these teams, but I think it might be harder, especially
it
that
is harder.
that
I'm
that
not gonna
that
dismiss
mid
that.
that mid team that's like maybe like 6 to like maybe 12. You
It's
have all these
like
players where they know how to play the big boys.
yeah.
They
I
just
mean,
they do.
I don't know what the table looks like as of the day of recording.
Yeah.
I don't know what the table looks like as of this time of recording. But one thing that I do know, like you mentioned, is we have so many teams that they are ready to knock you off.
Oh
I'm
yes.
talking about Newcastle, I'm talking about Everton, I'm talking about Brighton, Brentford. Those guys are like animals, bro. They
Uh,
just never want.
Patrick,
Well,
the Clivett guy in Bournemouth,
Beaumont.
like they'll
Yeah.
cut you.
Look at it.
Yeah.
None of those guys that we just counted down, none of those teams are like our traditional top six.
Yeah.
The likes of Tottenham, the likes of Man United, the likes of even we didn't even mention Aston Villa. Uh
Fulham.
oh man, those ones are like pests.
Hmm. It's like
They
it's like
never
there's
want to
so
go away.
many, so many
There's so many
teams.
teams. Yeah, there's so
It's
many
like so
of them.
if you have an off day, if you're not concentrating, if you make a mistake, like they'll punish you. They'll like Crystal Palace, Mateta,
Oh,
and like well, again, let me look at they're 13th. Crystal
that's crazy.
Palace with
And mine is
Mateta
probably
is
like
13th.
16 or 17,
Yeah,
15.
it's scary what the Premier League is becoming. Like you know how they used to say like, oh, it's the most competitive. What's it called? League in the world. This is the
Yeah.
first season where I believe it.
I 100%. I could not disagree with that. This season, this is so much. So that's why you see teams like even Liverpool is struggling. Like kind of to go back to what you mentioned, like we know scoring, and that's a very good point. I didn't even think about that. There's just so many like these guys are like pain in the butt. Like I can't. Can you imagine Liverpool can't even beat Everton?
And the last minute goal, and they're just like running around. And
Yeah,
Everton.
man. This season is definitely a rough one for the big boys.
It's crazy.
I
Yeah.
don't care who you are. If you're at the, I mean, Nottingham Forest was like about to be relegated last season. Was it like?
Did you see? Did you see at least the highlights for the Newcastle game? You see what they
Yeah,
almost did to Newcastle?
yeah. I mean,
They almost embarrassed Newcastle. Newcastle went 4-0 up, and after a while, it looked like Forest were close to tying that game.
they are like the Nottingham Forest is like the dog that you like and you love at the same time. Sometimes, like they will bite you if you're not careful. They will eat everything in your house.
Dangerous, and that Chris
But you,
Wood guy too. He
oh
doesn't need
man,
many chances. I think for me, it's a revelation. Just in because like every now and then you always say like, oh, the top teams, we know the best, we know the right players, we understand how the football is played. But you see what some of these coaches are getting out of players that traditionally would be undesirable. Like the Clivite
Mhm.
kid. On traditionally,
Mm.
that's an undesirable player. Chris Wood,
He
traditionally,
sucked. The dude sucked for like 2, 3 seasons ago when he first came to the Premier League. It
yeah.
was a bench guy.
And you see him now with all these, and so it's you must applaud what the mid-table teams are doing, the kind of value they're extracting from their players, and we must
Yeah.
also concede that because of the power status of the
Mm.
Premier League, I think we're now in a stage where we have access to a vast quality of like the lower middle teams have access to a vast quality of players that they never used to do. Like Aston Villa
Mm.
just getting Asensio like it's nothing. I was
Yeah.
like that never used to be the case. At least not for someone like Aston Villa.
That's it. Yeah. That's
But
right.
somehow
Even
that is possible, and that is definitely improving the competitiveness of the league, which
yeah.
is interesting. It's
Very,
interesting.
very.
Yeah, but on that
Like
note, though, it's we've been here more than what we're thinking, but it's just such a pleasure to talk game with you. We love that you could join us on this conversation, amigos. Please remember to like and subscribe so that you can get updates as to when we're going to be releasing. We're working very hard to improve the quality and the timeliness of our releases so that we can just explore and enjoy the games and the teams that we love together. If you have any suggestions for us, please leave a message. We read all the comments, and just let us know if you want to talk about if you want us to talk about your team. Even though we don't watch your team on a daily basis, we'll do the research. If you want to talk about
Yes.
Wrexham United, I know if you're in America, that's all they talk about. I go and
Oh
talk at like
no,
an average American. It's like, have you ever watched soccer or the Premier League? They're like, no, no, but Wrexham United. Wrexham United.
it's the power of Ryan Reynolds, man.
Yeah, it annoys me a little bit.
It does, but at the same time, I think Ryan Reynolds and his co-owner, they are geniuses, man.
They're doing a
Uh,
remarkable thing. I'm very impressed this season because they've done back to back promotions, and I thought League One was the first time they're going to struggle, and it's not clear that they're going to get promoted, but they're very close. Hopefully, they get automatic promotion. I know. Once you get into Championship, that's when things get
mm,
super challenging. But it is a remarkable success story. Like even if you spend money, money is not a guarantee of success. There are other
yeah,
teams in that stage have spent a lot more money. Birmingham has a bigger
mm,
budget than they do, and they're still in they still might not be promoted. So
from
it's no hate to Wrexham fans. You're doing an amazing thing, and we look
yeah,
forward to seeing you at the top of the pyramid in the future. But right now, Arsenal, Man United, and Liverpool. It's more like Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man United. But thanks for joining us once again, and we're gonna see you next week to react to even more games and just share our perspective. Thank you for coming along with on the journey with us, amigos. This is Ayo and Sam. See you next
peace,
time.
guys. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.